This video will give you an introduction to the game. The name is Grid Football, American Football Board Game. And this is the box. And as you can see on the box, you can see the rectangles making a line for the linemen, and the black rectangles are the defensive linemen. This would be the quarterback triangle. This would be a running back running through the line. And this would be a pass to a receiver out here. And this is a defensive safety or back. Same thing over here, and they can throw it here or there. So it kind of gives you an idea on the box what's going on. So once you open the box, it's neatly packed. You have your red team, your blue team, markers for both, and dice, okay? Which I've already unpacked for your convenience. And there are, so let's take a look at the whole board for a second, okay? It fits on a standard size coffee table, and we're playing beginner rules, which means you can have 3 linemen, offense and defense, and 4 backs. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you can see on this side right here, we have 2 extra linemen in case we want to have 5 linemen. And this is our star lineman and star back. You can see how tall they are. And they have a little star on the top. And they have 1 extra unit, but we're not going to talk about those right now. And you can see the yard marker here slides up and down. A standard game, we would start on the 20-yard line, and both of these yard markers will move, so both sides, if you're playing opposite each other, you can also play on the same side here. So both sides can keep track of the how many yards there are left to go. So you could start on the 20-yard line, or you can even kick off, but that's very advanced, so we're not going to talk about that. I have this yardstick just to show you how it's approximately 1 yard long, and it folds. When you take it out of the box, it folds like this. This is another one that I've customized for my alma mater, University of Miami, and that's about a 3.5-inch decal. Anything between 3 and 4 inches will fit on there, and there are many other places you can put school decals. And what else? Okay, and that's about it. So then you have we also have these shakers, which are optional. We even have a white one and a set of white pieces, so you can color them to your preference. Now you may notice that the end zones are kind of big, right? Well, this is listed as 100 yards, but it's not really 100 yards. This is a simulation of 10 yards, all right? So you can see the markers down here in black, but for reference, we wanted it to look just like a regular football field. And so this is really the 1 yard line, not the 10. And this would, so if you think about this being 10 yards, this being 10 yards, this being 10 yards, that being 10 yards, you can see this would be the end zone. This would be 10, this would be 20-yard line, and this would be 40-yard line. So this is 40 yards and about a third of the way across the field. So it's about maybe a quarter of the field approximately. So the reason why we do that is because we want to make the most use of the player pieces, and it's a true simulation of football, which you'll see in a second. So we can just get started and play. The first thing that happens is you set up your markers here, and you can see markers keeping track of the score and keeping track of the downs. And You have challenging dice where you can get an interception, a completion, an incompletion. Okay, so let's say this is going to be our quarterback. Let's say blue is going to be offense first. And for most of these videos, I'll make blue offense just for the sake of continuity. You can see it's a really adorable little football, and he goes right inside any one of the backs, which are triangular shaped. And these are the checker style pieces. We have chess style pieces, but through testing, we found that these are a lot more fun and a lot easier to move. This is what a chess style piece would look like. And then the ball would fit over the helmet like that. So you can buy those later, but it's best to learn with what I call the checker style, because they're flat and they slide. You can use your finger, you can even use a pencil. All right, and what else did we not talk about? Okay, this is just a regular marker that you can use to say, well, if I go here, or if I go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, you can leave it there to see if the way it visualizes it. And when you throw a pass, you don't take it out of the quarterback and throw it. You put it on this holder, and then you would throw it down the field, and it would stay on the holder. Let's say this back was trying to catch it, the wide receiver, and then the defensive back would try to get a hold of it. And I'm talking about backs in line without explaining, so let me back up a little bit. There's two types of players. There are linemen, and there are backs. Backs are also wide receivers, any player piece that catches the ball. And if you want to play a quick game, you can play from the center, from the 50-yard line, and you have 1 down per side, so nobody's waiting 4 downs to get the offense. And then no matter how many yards you get, let me zoom in over here, I can show you a little bit. You can track how many yards they got. So if you got only 30 yards, it'll go up to that 30. You can see that. So you only have 1 down if you want to play a very quick game, okay? So, all right, so the first, you unpacked it, and you put the yard lines on there, and the offense lined up first, and he wants a little running back behind here for whatever reason, to hand off or whatever, or to protect the quarterback, and 2 wide receivers, okay? But they're all considered backs to us. And you have 2 dice, which you can use our little cooler shakers, or you can just roll with your hands. And then once the blue side, the home team, the offense lines up their pieces, then the defense, the red team, will line up. I just put 4 there randomly, but you might want to come up here and come right in their face, slow them down because he can't run right through you. He's got to go around you, so he's got to go around you, which will slow him down, and then you can come and attack the quarterback, or you can stay laid back. You can have one guy rush the quarterback. You can have a deep safety. Any kind of setup you want, as long as the linemen are between the hash marks, and you can't have, for example, a lineman in the middle of a back in the middle of your lineman like that. But he can be up to the hash marks, but he cannot be inside. Even if you're lined up like that, he can't be here. He's got to be here. Okay, so that's about the simple rules. Now, let me tell you how the linemen and the backs work, so you know. And at the end of this video, you'll already know how to start playing. So first, the blue, the home team, lines up first. He plays offense first because, as gentlemen, you want the visitor team to always have the last shot at offense. we have what's called drive innings. The home team has the blue home blue team has a drive, and then the visitor team has a drive. If the home team gets 100 points first, the visitor, the red team, has another chance to go. So if they get 110, they win. If they get 90, they lose. If they are both equal at 100, it keeps going, inning by inning, blue, red, blue, red, blue, red, until at the end of the, what we call a drive inning, meaning both sides went offense at this, equally, then one side is 10 points ahead, sort of like tennis, okay? So now blue side lines up, and then the red side can figure out where they want to go. He can maybe go here for to rush the quarterback. He can kind of stay back if you want to play it safe. This way you have all of these guys to rush the quarterback, and you don't have to worry about this guy running out here, running there. He's kind of in front of you. You just have to make sure he doesn't get behind you, because keep in mind that the backs can go, the defensive backs are facing this way, the offensive backs are facing that way. This guy can go 1, 2, 3 forward, any combination of 3 going horizontal and vertical. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And at the same time, and can go 2 sideways, 1, 2, 1, 2. And he can go 2 backwards also. 1, 2, only horizontal and vertical. 1, 2, and 1, 2. And that's pretty much your range. You can go from here to here to here. 1, 2, 3, all the way up to here, right? And then at the same time, you can use what we call a shortcut. You can go 1, 2, 3, but you don't need to. You can just go 1 diagonal and 1 horizontal, or 1 vertical, 1 diagonal. So you can go anywhere. You can go 1, 2, 3 horizontal and vertical. You can do 1 diagonal and 1 horizontal or vertical. Okay? Same thing backwards. You can go back 1 this way, or 1, 2 back. Okay? So here we're giving him plenty of room to run, but at the same time, he can throw a pass to him right here, and you won't be able to cover it. Maybe you won't get far, but that's a chance you got to take. On the first roll, the quarterback is receiving the ball, so he cannot hand off and he cannot throw. But he could receive the ball here, or in the shotgun formation over here, or he can receive the ball here. And if you, for example, lined up over here, right, he could come here, and then 1, 2, 3, run right up the middle. You see that? So you got to be careful. He can run with the ball, but he can't give it to anyone else because he just received it from the center. All right? So we'll play this guy a little off center just to mix it up a little bit, or you can just mirror him, either way. And that's it. We're ready to go. The lineman, well, let me point out what the lineman can do. I'll move this guy out of the way, make it easier for you. The lineman can go 1, 2 forward, or 1, 2 sideways, 1, 2. So it seems like he can go 1, 2 anywhere except for backwards. He can only go 1, only here, not here or there. The same thing with the offensive lineman. He can go, can you see that? Zoom out a little bit. So he can go 1, 2. Can you see that? Yeah. He can go 1, 2. He can go 1, 2, but he can only go back 1 this way, not here or there. All right, and that makes a big difference. You'll find out later. And that's all he can do. As far as the star players, they just have 1 more extra unit of energy. So the star linemen can go 1, 2, 3 forward, just like the backs. They can move just like the backs, but they're much more powerful. And we'll talk about that later when we run into the blocks, and which is going to happen right away. So let's put them back where they were. okay? And this guy's giving him plenty of room. This guy's giving him plenty of room, and we got a nice deep safety and a pass rusher. And that's it. You're ready to start the game. This is the midfield version of the game. We can zoom in now a little bit. This is the midfield version of the game. And let's see. Let's just start playing. This is 1 down. Now, we could start on the 20 and use 4 downs to get all the way across. That's the way most people are going to want to play because that's the way real football is played. But I would recommend to practice this way: 1 down for blue, 1 down for the blue home team gets the offense, then the red team gets the offense back and forth, and the score goes up quickly. Okay, so we'll roll for the blue. He gets a 4 and a 3, and you can move all the linemen. Oh, I want to be in the shotgun formation. You can move all the linemen first, or all the linemen, or all the backs first. Instinct makes you want to move your backs. 1, 2, 3. In the pros, in the pro level, it's a little different. You have to move the linemen first. 4, 5. 4, 5, 6, 7, because I'm not bringing these guys up to make a pocket to protect from this guy when he can go 1, 2, 3. So I'm gonna bring my running back over here to protect against this guy making a pass rush. And at the same time, I run right up here. This, by the way, is the perfect way to cover the offense, nose to nose. Can we see that? Yeah. And this guy has to get himself over here. So he has to, that's why I went 1, 2 that way, because I wanted to force him to move that back. All right, so 4 and 3, and we've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we used all 4 and 3, all 7 for the backs. If it was 6 and 2, I'd probably use 2 for the linemen. Okay. And then the defense will go 5 and 6. That's a really good move. Now the defense can go 1, 2, but the defense doesn't want to do that. That's a better move for the offense. Like for a running play, you can go 1, 2, because you want to definitely stay in the block, because while you're in the block, he's not allowed to back out, and then you're allowed to escape. And I'll show you that in a second. So 1, 2, 3, that's all you can do. Now keep in mind, this is typically designed for 5 players. So if you had 5 linemen, you'd use all of them. Okay, and then we have a 6, and what do we want to do? We definitely want to use 1 here. These guys can, this way he cannot catch a pass. And I want to attack. I'm going to go, so that's 1. This guy can go 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we'll go in there. And then that's it. I'm happy with this guy over here. Neither one of them needs help. Maybe I might go back a little bit. Nah, he's okay. So we're not even using all the energy. Let the offense go. 4 and 6. Well, you can see he just needs 1, 2 to sack me here. So I want to get to safety. I'm going to run away. I may want to move these guys out of my way. 1, so I can do 1, 2. Now, I want to point out something else. The way these line up automatically, regardless of how they look, they are always lined up like this. So you can move them around just so you can visualize. But because this guy is on the same line as the let me move this guy out of the way for just a second. This center is blocking this spot. This left guard, right guard, left guard, whatever, they're both blocking this spot also because the quarterback is diagonal in that direction. But they have a half a block this way, meaning that you can exit, but you have to go in a straight line. Okay, so let's put that guy back over here. Okay, so what are we going to do? We could just go and block him. Now keep in mind, the defensive back is always facing our cute little quarterback. He's always facing him. So we cannot block him from here, or from this direction, right? But this guy can easily block him. But once you block him, he can escape the block. And we'll talk about that later when that happens. So what I want to do, I happen to know what I want to do. I'm going to do 1, 2. That's a push, okay? And I can do 2 more if I want. 3, 4. Because notice how these 3 guys are still forming the line, you see? And then, so that's 4. We'll take that off the board. Now we got 6 remaining for the backs. This guy needs some help, so he can only move 1 sideways to the left or right and 1 back, but forward he can move like a regular back 3. So instead of being able to move 2 back and 2 sideways, he can only go 1 back and 1 sideways because he's looking forward and he can't go backwards and sideways. He can only go forward. So he's going to go 1, 2, and this guy, we want him here, complete the circle. But he cannot take a diagonal because this side of the line of scrimmage, or midfield in this case, is a block zone. So this defensive back is giving what we call a body block, meaning if there's nobody on both of these, he can just come here and complete the circle, or here and then complete the line, right? But since he's over, the defensive back is right here, he wants to come here. He's going to have to go 1 and 2, forcing this guy to come 1, 2, 3 to get him. If he has doubles, he can go 1, 2, 3, and boom, and sack, and then the play is over. Okay, so he did 1, 2. This guy did 3, 4, and now we only have 1 guy left to go. Well, we can do 5, 6. I'll show you what happens next. And then that's it. We can't move that guy, okay? And then the red team goes. Now you're going to be desperate to go 1, 2, 3, 1 to get him, but you got to pay attention because this guy can only go 2 back, all right? He cannot get here. That's 1, 2, 3. He cannot go in front of him and cover him. This guy is allowed to go. He's typically facing forward, and during a pass, he's always facing forward. But on this side of the line of scrimmage, midfield in this game, he can be facing forward or he can face left and right. He just can't turn around and go backwards, right? So he can go 3, that direction, or that direction, except during a pass. So the point I'm making is he doesn't need to just go 1, 2 sideways. He can turn, face this direction, and go 1, 2, 3, and now he's covering him nose to nose. All right, 1, 2, 3. And then now we have another 3. That guy's okay. This guy's okay. We may want to go 1, 2, 3, come up here and cover the quarterback from running. Or we're dying to do this. So what did we do so far? Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's all. Oh, and then we have a 1. That's a very good point. Now, these guys change directions. Now they're facing the quarterback. The back of the offensive lineman is always facing the quarterback. In this case, they're all facing this diagonal because the quarterback is right here. Can you see that? The quarterback is right here, so these guys are blocking these spots. So this guy cannot go here. If he was here, he could. But he cannot go here, but he can go here freely. This guy cannot go here because there's a blue on this side and there's a blue on this side. So these two guys reinforce this block. Otherwise, if they weren't there, he could go this direction in a straight line. So what can we do? We can't go here, but we have one more nice way to make use out of it. The best we can do is go here. That's the best thing we can do. So at least the quarterback can't go 1, 2, 3 and run straight over there and try to make a run for the end zone. All right, and then the offense goes. He's in a bit of a sticky wicket here. As you can see, the defensive back is always facing the quarterback. This is our quarterback, in case you forgot. And this guy is, the defensive lineman is facing the quarterback also. And you cannot block him from this, or this spot. That would be an illegal block from the back. But from the side, you can do one right there. If I choose to use my lineman first, now I got to use all my linemen, okay? So I use one over there. So I can't back out of here, there, or there. But I can push them out of my way. What else can I do? I could push them here, there, or there. I just push them out of my way. 2, 3. So that's 1, 2, 3. And, well, I would like to back out, but once they're in a block, you cannot go backwards. They're entangled. Okay, so that's about it out of that 4. And now we have 6 for the backs. And what do we want to do with that? We could throw a block on him. That would prevent him from tackling the quarterback for one roll at least. But let me see if I could do something more clever. 2, 3. I can come 1. 2, 3. So that prevents him from using any shortcuts to get over here. So he's going to have to use 1, 2, 3 to get there. And let's see. So that's 1, 2, 3. And this guy definitely wants to get moving. 4, 5. And 6 over here. Now, if the defense, this is beginner, so if you roll a double, you get an extra energy unit. So if that was a double 5, this guy would go 1, 2, 3, and then boom, knock over our quarterback, this guy. But doesn't have that. So what do we want to do? Well, we want to cover this guy. He's in the end zone. Let me zoom out so you can see what I'm talking about. This guy over here, we ran around him, and now he can only go 1, 2. He can't get there. He can go 1 over there. And that could be a little bit of a problem. And, well, let's do the easy thing first. 1 we can do here. So now they're covered nose to nose. So you know this guy cannot catch the ball without being covered from this guy, because if he's going 3 forward and this guy's going 2 back, you know, 1, 2, 3, he can go 2. 1, 2, 3, he can go. Okay, so you get the idea. Okay, so that's where you want, that's how you cover the offensive back. And then, so that's 1. And then this guy can only go 2, which is not great, but we'll see what happens in a second. And then, we can attack the quarterback, go 3, 4. Or, hold on. We can just go 3, 4, 5, 6. And the reason why I did that is because I want to use the 5 for my linemen, get them in action. Now, remember, this guy is over here, so he's blocking only this. I can come out here, 1. That's all I can do. This guy is technically lined up that direction because that's where the quarterback is. So this is a half block. Nobody saw he can come up 1, 2. But before we do that, we've done 1 so far. And this guy can go 2. This guy can go 3, 4, and that's it. Okay? Now, if you slide over a little bit here to take a look at what we have here, this guy can go 3 forward. 1, 2, 3. This guy can only go 1, 2 back. So he cannot cover him 100%, but he can get to the right spot. For example, if he goes 1, 2, 3, he can go 1, 2, 1, 2, right? And he can be, the quarterback's here. So then that would be the place to challenge him. There's 2 challenge spots. Either you can get right on top of him, or you can get in between him and the quarterback. I'll show you in just a second. Or we can just do, let me see, 1, 2, 3, and the quarterback straight ahead. He just has to go there to get a challenge. I'm not really ready to get out of this guy's grip. 1, 2. Yeah, so he can always challenge, but I'm about to get sacked here. I could try to make a run for it, or I can just go for it all. Let's go for it all. What do you say? Let's have some fun. Okay? Let's go for it all. So he's got to go, well, we got to roll our dice first. Now, this is beginner. In professional, you have to roll 1 die, move the guy, another die, throw the ball. But for beginners, we can roll 2 dice, and he could throw straight. College and pro, you cannot throw straight. The blue guy cannot throw straight when there's an opponent red here. So, but we don't worry about that in beginner. We're just playing. And this guy's going to go 1, 2, 3. Doesn't really matter where you go because he can get you no matter what. 1, 2, 3. He can still, by the way, see this yellow dotted line and the hash marks? That's 1 pass sector lane. But we don't worry about that in beginner, other than the fact that this guy, this quarterback is in the same lane. So that means that this is the spot that you are, you have to reach to cover the ball. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, or shortcut, I can go 1, 2, and then I'm going to throw the ball, but not just yet. What we're going to do is we're going to put the ball in the holder and put it right over here. Can you see that? Let's take a little closer look. And we're gonna put the ball right over here. So he's in the holder. And we can move the other guys if we want, but there's really no point. Because he only went 1, 2. This guy can go 3, 4. Whatever. This guy can move. Who cares? And then the other one is for the ball. Typically, they use pass sectors for college and pro, but for beginner, you could only use one of these two because one belongs to the ball. And you only need 1 unit of energy. So even if you have a 1, you can use it to make life easier for them, and the ball is thrown, okay? If these two were close together, then you could kind of throw a body block, and this gets more complicated. But let's just finish the play so you see what's happening, okay? Now the defense rolls 2, and all he really needs is a 1, 2, because these two guys are in the same pass sector lane, which is by these yellow dotted lines and the hash marks, right? There's the center one, and the left and right one, okay? The center, left and right, okay? So then you roll it. Oh, he only needs a 2 anyway, so it doesn't matter. But keep in mind, in this game, if you roll a double 1, you lose your turn. So if you rolled a double 1 right now, that would be a touchdown right away. So he's gonna come 1, 2. And there's no point in challenging him again. In college and pro levels, we can do double challenges or anything, but for beginners, all you have to do is get in this one spot, or you can even challenge from inside here. And we have 3 different challenging die. This one with the interception is, if you reach the same grid, then you would roll this one, but he doesn't have the interception. For college and pros, you would roll this one, because if you reach here, it's automatically incomplete. And then the next biggest one, this one doesn't have an interception, but it has 3 and 3, 3 blues and 3 reds, 3 incompletes and 3 completes. And the star means it's complete, and you roll again. The complete means that you are complete and you're tackled right there. So we're gonna roll this one. And it gets a little bit complex, a little bit, because if this guy was a star, then he would get the easier roll, or the harder roll, the bigger one. It would automatically upgrade, or vice versa if this guy. But anyway, so he's going to get the middle one. There's a large, medium, and small challenging die. And we're going to roll this. Well, it starts off, the defense says, I challenge you. The offense can refuse the challenge because maybe he doesn't want the interception, but in this case, there's no chance of it because we're playing beginner level and there's just 3 completes and 3 incompletes, no interception. So if he refuses the challenge, it's incomplete. So of course he's gonna take the challenge, and let's roll that and see who wins. Right there, boom, that's a touchdown. So that makes it pretty easy, but it was a 50-50 chance, really, because he was able to get there. Could have been incomplete. And had he been able to get one further, then there would be no chance for a challenge if this guy couldn't get within that spot. If they were here, if they were challenging here, he would have to get to that spot because the quarterback is in this lane. Same thing over there. Okay, and it's as simple as that. And so that would count as, for the midfield game, that would actually count as 50, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 points, and an extra 2 bonus for the touchdown. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the red. Let's go to the other side. This is a very fast version of the game. That's why I'm showing it to you. And there's only one down per team. And so it would come up to, you made 50 yards, and then you get 2 extra, like 7 points, 70 points, because you made the touchdown. And now if he had caught the ball here, for example, and then he would have had the 10, 20, 30, 40 points. Can you see my fingers here? Had he gotten in, complete here, he would have gotten 10, 20, 30, 40, no matter which lines you actually pass. And if we're playing 4 downs, it would be 4th and 1. And we've got some beautiful 4th and 1 plays. And it's as simple as that. You can start at the 20 and go all the way across with 4 downs. Or now the red team can go and have 1 down and try to get as many points as possible. And you can see it's only going to take 2 or 3 tries before someone hits 100 yards. But even if the blue reaches 100 yards first, the red team still has to go. He's the guest, he's the visitor, and he always goes last. As a courtesy, typically the home team always allows the visiting team to go last. If you're going to have a halftime, which we'll talk about later, then the visiting team would go first, and then they switch. The home team goes, and the second half goes first, and allowing the visiting team to go last. That's assuming nobody wants to change the rules, but there is something in game theory called home rules, which we always oblige to, meaning the owner of the game is the home team, and they can change the rules at will. Because it's their home, their game, they can change the rules. But according to the official rules, we want to be gentlemen. And that's about it. Then this would be over, and we got 70 points for the blue team. And the red team still has 0, but he hasn't gone yet. We give the balls over to the red team. And another nice thing with the midfield, or with the 3 linemen, it's very easy to set up again. But you'll want to go with 5 linemen, believe me, if you're intelligent, if you want to challenge, believe me, that becomes like a Rubik's Cube in here. And you can stay in the pocket for 4, 5, even 6 rolls if you're sharp. Okay, and then so we got 4 of these. We'll do the same thing that the red team did. We'll do a safety. Or maybe we'll do that other thing I was talking about. We'll go right in his face here, right in his face here. Get rid of these dice. And we'll pick him up after he passes me. We'll pick him up with these 2 guys. We'll pick him up with these 2 guys, but don't tell the red team this. And then we're gonna rush both of these, okay? And that's the end of the very first play that you should play to learn how to play this game. Thank you very much. Let me put my marker here so we know this was step A. Step B will be the red team is going to go. Thank you very much.